Now available in paperback and coming to Kindle Unlimited. John Haynes, Dark Succubus. The man who rules the world is tempted by a sultry succubus in this all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get John Haynes, Dark Succubus in paperback or pre-order on Kindle Unlimited today. This week we have the defining moment of the Trump presidency. And this defining moment showed us how your Donald J. Trump will be just as ineffective a leader as Barack Obama, and how he has no hope of ever making America great again, as he promised in 2016. Now, in the aftermath of the mass shootings which transpired in Dayton, Ohio, and El Paso, Texas, your Donald Trump had an opportunity to make a statement about your white female single mothers and hold them accountable for all of these mass shootings which have transpired across the country, costing many innocent Americans their lives and setting a course for the country to correct itself. However, your Donald Trump, instead of taking the lead as related to mass shootings and making that statement to hold white female single mothers accountable for the sons they have raised to become these mass shooters, what your Donald Trump did was deflect on the issue and then tried to make it about violent video games, mental illness, and gun control. And with this deflection, we now see that your Donald Trump will be just as much an ineffective leader as Barack Obama was in 2009, when your Barack Obama had the opportunity to hold the House and Senate accountable when they decided to go on vacation instead of giving the American people an unemployment benefits extension during one of the worst recessions in American history. Now, with that decision to let the House and Senate go on vacation for 2 weeks while Americans struggled to make ends meet, we saw that Barack Obama didn't deliver the hope and change and had no interest in delivering hope and change to the American people, and it was all about him getting the attention and approval of the Washington insiders, and it was all about him promoting politics over the people he served. And with this statement, your Donald J. Trump has now shown that he has no interest in making America great again, because this issue as related to mass shooters is something that he could have taken a stand on, and it could have been something that he could have taken the lead on by making a discourse on the issue and really making a powerful statement saying that he was really serious about making America great again by holding the institution accountable that creates all of these mass shooters, white female single mothers, because most of these mass shooters come from these white female single mother households, whether they be created by a divorce or an out of wedlock birth, and as a result we get these beta males who are ticking time bombs. And what is scary is we have 2 to 3 generations of these males out here, and these men, we don't know when they are going to explode in rage or what type of violence they're going to participate in. And it's clear from the 2 mass shootings we had in one day that the frequency of these mass shootings is getting worse, and it's increasing in, again, frequency. But your Donald Trump, instead of making efforts to deal with the institution of single mothers, decided to give all of those white women a pass and let them go free and continue the cycle of violence, which has now started increasing again in frequency and volume as more and more mass shooters come out almost every year. And this year we have had more mass shootings than entire days of the year. So Donald Trump, who has all of this bluster about illegal immigration and many of all of these other issues. This president has none of that bluster, none of that fervor, and does not want to rally people to deal with the issue of single mothers. This man who says he wants to make America great again, he could easily go to one of his rallies and start talking about the importance of fathers in the lives of children. He could start talking about the importance of manhood, the importance of masculinity, and the importance of a man in the development of a boy into a young man who has the character, discipline, and resolve on how to deal with life. However, instead of Donald Trump taking that stand against single mothers and holding white females accountable for the sad state of the American man, your Donald Trump instead deflects and starts talking about the far-right talking points of gun controls, mental illness, and all of these other excuses instead of holding white women accountable for the boys that they said they could raise. Because back in the days of the white feminist movement of the 1960s and 1970s, many of these feminists bragged that they did not need a man and they could raise a boy to be a man without a father. And while many people in black households are said to be a part of this rhetoric, most of the black women got this rhetoric from white women. And it's clear from all of these mass shooters out here that this rhetoric has been proven to be a failure, and it's proven that these women could not raise these boys to be men, even though they have received government benefits through the welfare state. They have received child support from many fathers from the family courts, and they have received numerous support and benefits from programs like your Section 8, your WIC, and many other programs designed to raise healthy children. It's clear that your white woman has done a poor job of raising boys to become men, because the end result that we're getting are these beta male mass shooters, men who do not know how to navigate a course in life because they did not get the most important things from their fathers. They did not get masculine energy from their fathers, nor did they get taught the male life skills and survival skills that they would need to go out into the world. And because these men do not know how to function in the world, this is why so many of these men are growing frustrated and angry. And because they do not know how to make life work in the world, this is why these men are angry, simmering and boiling in anger, and then exploding in these rages where they go out of their way to write these manifestos and then go out here and buy all of this military and tactical gear to participate in these mass shootings, to lash out at a world where they feel they have no place in because they were not taught how to think critically and logically on how to set a course for themselves in this world and to find a way to survive in this world as a man, because they've learned feminine life skills and are trying to set a course for themselves as a man using a woman's survival tactics, and then getting angry when those tactics fall completely apart. Unfortunately, your President Trump is still sitting there trying to talk about violent video games, an argument that was already refuted way back in the 1990s. Violent video games are not the thing that cause mass shooters. We've had horror movies, violent video games, and all sorts of media in this country since the days of the 1930s, and we didn't have any mass shooters back in the 1930s when they were doing horror comics or doing extremely violent crime comics, and we didn't have mass shooters in the days of the westerns, which were extremely violent, and we didn't have your mass shooters in the 1970s when we started to see the slasher movies come up. We only started to see an increase in your mass shooters soon after the rise of the feminist movement and the creation of no-fault divorce and the rise of the single-parent household. We saw the first couple of mass shooters starting in the mid-70s and then the 80s, and then we started to see a definite increase in the 1990s, and we've steadily seen that increase all the way into the 2000s, and now we're starting to see this frequency as related to mass shootings happening almost every day. But your President Trump, instead of being as bold as he was on the campaign trail when he called out all of these other people out here, like your Hispanics, like your illegal immigrants, and like many other groups he has a personal gripe with, he does not call out the most egregious person in American society. He does not call out the American white female single mother who was a product of the feminist movement and is one of the people who is keeping America from being great, because she will not make any efforts to go and reach out to the fathers of her children so that she can help raise this boy to be a man who can function in American society. Because in America right now, the only thing that's keeping American men from being great is having that relationship with their father, and an effort and a campaign to start making an investment in men by showing the value of American fathers in the home, American fathers in society, American fathers in the community, and the role and impact that American fathers have as men in society. If your Donald Trump was really serious about making America great again, he would have called out these single mothers for raising these dysfunctional boys, and then started laying out a campaign to really make a serious investment in American men, because the only way America can really be great is if we invest in the American man so that he can be the father, husband, protector, and provider, and be the man that can go out of his way to take care of the American family and set a standard for American greatness. But instead of making that effort to take that stand, what your Donald Trump did during the aftermath of the mass shooting in El Paso and the one in Dayton was toe the Republican Party line and make archaic talking points that had already been refuted. Now, your Donald Trump says he's supposed to be this big, bold guy and big and loud, but it's clear to me that when it comes down to the American woman, he just doesn't have the same backbone and stones that he uses to get in the face of illegal immigrants and many other people who he has an issue with. When it comes down to the American white woman, your Donald Trump doesn't have the same rhetoric to go after her that he did to go after many of these other ethnic groups or other parts of the community that he says are a problem. And if you're not going to hold the American woman accountable for the dysfunctional sons she is raising in the single mother households, then as a president, I can say your Donald Trump is just as ineffective as Barack Obama, and he has no hope of making America great again, because if you cannot stand and look this American white woman in the eye and hold her accountable for the dysfunctional state of the American male and tell her that it was her going out here and following the rhetoric of the feminist movement. It was her who said that she could raise the boy to be a man on her own as a strong, independent woman who did not need a man and did not need to follow the lead of a husband in the home and did not need a father in both her son and her daughter's life. If he does not have that type of courage to hold that American white woman accountable for the sad state of the American man, then we have no hope of ever making America great again. If you'd like to learn why so many American men are falling apart here in America, and many are believing they have to participate in violence like mass shootings or other dysfunctional behaviors, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle formats, and you can also find The Man Crisis on Smashwords and the iBookstore. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the link in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Coming to Kindle Unlimited this April, Esteemed Goddess of. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a demonic dominatrix in this all-new Esteemed series adventure. Pre-order your copy of Esteemed Goddess of on Kindle Unlimited or pick up the paperback today.